This week, we talk about the latest news coming to the MCU about Avengers Doomsday. We talk about a prequel novel to James Gunn's new Superman movie. We talk about something scary coming to a galaxy far, far away, and a whole lot more fun stuff happening out there from all over the pop culture universe. Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse. Warning.
Red alert.
Danger, Will Robinson! Danger!
That's the emergency alert.
This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billy Taylor.
I'm Taylor Oxner.
And we're back, guys. We're here to talk about all the really fun things happening out there in the pop culture universe. But before we jump into any of that, Taylor, what have you been nerding out about this week, man?
Besides binging and catching up to Daredevil Born Again, this week is WrestleMania week. So
Oh, yeah.
every day this week there's like a little something going on. So it's exciting. Really excited for this weekend. Like really, really excited for this weekend. So yeah.
I'll bet. Yeah, that's going to be fun. You know, like as a kid, I wasn't as into wrestling as you, but even now as an adult, I can only imagine how fun that'll be to be there.
Oh yeah, like I wish I could like afford it. It's like just to get in the building, basically, you're spending like $4,000.
Oh, yeah.
So it's wild.
That's
It
crazy.
would have to be one of those things that like I save up for a long time. It's like going to Disney World.
Right. Well, I'm nerding out about a couple of things this week. Well, first of all, my son, his birthday is this week. Happy birthday, Oliver, turning the big 11. He's getting too grown. This past weekend, I took him and his brother and a bunch of his buddies to see the Minecraft movie. And I have to say, I am still in shock of how much I loved that movie. It was so funny. And the script was definitely, in my opinion, it felt like it was written to make the adults laugh, but at a level where the kids still enjoyed the plot of the movie, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And Jack Black's character was cracking me up. Jason Momoa's character was cracking me up. Just the little nuances of the way they said things. It wasn't even always what they said, it was how they said it. And I don't know, it was so funny. And then all the little inside jokes that I didn't 100% get about Minecraft, my kid and his friends were leaning over to let me in on all the little secrets and all the little jokes. And it was so cool. I can't explain it again, how funny it was. I think what I read, it's on the second weekend, it's already accumulated over $500 million.
That's wild.
It was crazy. But yeah, anyone listening, if you're on the fence, even if you don't have kids, it's hilarious. It's totally worth a watch. So that's my first nerding out, is how much I enjoyed that movie. And then my second nerding out is, I told you guys last week about getting my hands on some Invincible omnibuses, and I have almost completed all three of them. And I haven't been able to stop reading, and it's just blowing my mind how good it is.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I'm about halfway through the third omnibus, and I'll probably be done in the next day or two. And
Is that the last one?
that's the last one, yeah. And yeah, I'm at the point where the T-Rex guy has just turned Las Vegas into glass.
Oh yeah. Okay,
And
I know where you're at.
I'm probably several issues ahead of that. That's just the big milestone I can remember last. But dang, it is so good. It's one of those things, I haven't read a book in so long that I haven't wanted to put down, and I'm just dying to know how this all ends, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
But hey, that's it for nerding out. Let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of news for this week. As Taylor mentioned earlier, he's nerding out about Daredevil Born Again, and this week is the finale episode. So next week, we're going to be able to come together and just kind of talk about our thoughts of the whole thing. But even right now, overall, it is so good. I'm just really enjoying what they've done with it. And the last one, the second to last episode, ended on such a good cliffhanger point that I'm just kind of dying tonight. For us, as we're recording this tonight, we'll be able to sit down and watch it. So yeah, I'm just pumped at how good this show is.
Yeah, while we're recording this, I go into work afterwards, and after we record, I'm working, so like I won't get to see it till tomorrow morning. So I'm like, it's like chomping at the bit.
Right.
Because I thought, for some reason, I thought that like we were ending on episode 8, and so at the end of that episode, I was like, no way. And so I had to look to see if that was the finale or not.
Right? 9 seems like such an odd number to end on.
Wasn't it originally supposed to be like 15 or something crazy?
I think so. 12 or 15, some double digit number seems right. But yeah, it ends tonight, and I don't know. I'm not ready. I always feel a tiny bit of mourning when a good show ends.
Yeah, did you see the trailer?
For this week's episode,
Yeah.
you know what? Funny enough, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen the
Okay.
trailer.
All right.
I'll have to go check it out after we're done recording.
Yeah, I mean, it made me get more excited. I don't know whether it's one of those, like, I watched it and I was like, I probably could have gone without watching that, and it still would have been just as good. But
Yeah.
that looked awesome.
Well, we know that we're getting really close to May 1st, which is when Thunderbolts premieres. And
Yes.
they put out a thing today that the first non-teaser trailer of Fantastic Four First Steps will be at the front of Thunderbolts. So there's two things to
Okay.
look forward to when Thunderbolts comes out.
I saw the new trailer for Thunderbolts today.
Yeah.
With the Century, it's like in the first scene of it,
Yep.
just like wiping people away. Like, it's nuts.
I
So
know.
I'm very interested. Also, they might have done some like CGI work with Red Guardian. I'm not 100% certain. It might be the suit. He looks big.
You know, it's funny you say that. I was thinking the same thing, and how he kind of looks a little more jacked than the last time we saw him.
Yeah, but even in the previous trailer, like, he almost looks like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, almost more comic accurate height and build,
Yeah.
which we can talk more about it later. But did you, on the episode of this latest episode of Daredevil, can we talk about something that happened in it? It correlates, I swear.
Sure, go ahead.
But you know, there's a scene where he, like, Fisk moves and he rips his suit and he's like, it looks like I'm getting too big for these suits.
Yes.
Are they slowly making him comic accurate size?
That's what I was wondering too, because I don't know if you remember, I feel like we talked about it months ago, where some article we read said that that's kind of a goal they're going for, is that Fisk is going to eventually be a little bit more comic accurate looking when it comes to size. And when he did that, when the suit ripped, that was the first thing that came to my mind too.
I wonder if they're trying to do that with certain characters, or if they're just working on that as like a Marvel as a whole.
Yeah.
To try to make these characters like, because I heard somewhere that we might get a peek at Apocalypse during these like Doomsday and whatever, you
Yeah.
know. I wonder if they're going to do that with him too.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. And then if you're listening, Disney, Marvel, you got to get your rights back, because we want to see this guy show up in other places.
Yeah, I would love to see like a. Well, I mean, can Kingpin do like a movie villain? Like, does that work with that character?
You know, I think, was it a week or 2 weeks ago when we talked about Vincent D'Onofrio was in an interview and someone asked him, hey, are we going to see you in the next Spider-Man movie? And he said, you know, unfortunately, as of now, those rights to this particular character are only held in a situation where he can show up in TV properties, not movie
Yeah.
properties. So,
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, I just don't know if that's the greatest character for a film.
yeah,
It's almost, he needs to have all that time build up and everything else. And, you know, he's doing this whole anti-villain thing. I wonder when he's going to start working with villains.
right. Maybe we'll even get a glimpse of that as this season finale hits us.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of all this movie stuff, we know that Avengers Doomsday is coming sooner than later. And there was a report actually this morning as I was looking through things that the latest scene, because it's already been in development, it's already recording a lot of scenes, but someone reported that the latest scene happens to take place inside of the X mansion and it's under attack. So that was just kind of cool to hear that. And I'm anxious to see how they start pulling all these things together.
Yeah, I'm interested to see with all the X-Men stuff how or like what that universe is, because I highly doubt it's like strictly the Fox universe.
Right.
If Cyclops is in that suit, and then the X-Men, like the Wolverine we got from Deadpool and Wolverine, is not the Wolverine from that universe either.
Yeah.
Maybe it's from that universe,
Yep.
or who knows.
Right. Yeah, it could be anything. Who knows? And speaking of that movie, the same report said that it is expected to release a trailer around Thanksgiving 2025. So it'll be a little while before we see that. But man, I just can't wait to see it. This is going to be such a good movie.
Yeah, it's gonna come before we know it.
Oh, I know. I'm pretty pumped.
Mhm.
And then on the comic book side of things with Marvel, this week they recently announced there's a new book coming. It's a 5-issue miniseries called Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. And I don't know, that sounded kind of fun. I'm going to be excited to read that one too.
Yeah, that's a blast. I wonder if they pull in like King Kong. I wonder if it's like from that universe, or is it from like the old Godzilla Godzilla movies, or I wonder
Yeah.
which Godzilla they're going to use. What if they use the Matthew Broderick Godzilla and it's
Right.
the Iguana?
That'd be funny. I
That
know
would be
the Power Rangers comics has pulled in Godzilla, the DC comics has pulled in Godzilla, and now we're going to be seeing the Marvel comics pulling in Godzilla.
I
Those are all
think it,
fun.
yeah, I mean, that's one of those properties that you can do that with. But you got to remember, Marvel, I'm pretty sure, were the first comic company to have the Godzilla comics
Oh, I'm sure.
back in the day. So it's like a full cycle thing for them. And Spider-Man was in Godzilla comics back in the day.
Yep.
So, it's not the first time.
Yep. Well, over with DC, we know that the Superman movie is coming this July. Well, earlier this week, they just announced that there's going to be a prequel novel to James Gunn's Superman movie and his new DC universe called Welcome to Metropolis. And it comes out right before the movie hits. So
Goodness.
the movie hits in July, and this book is supposed to come out in June. So, yes, I'm already pumped and ready to read it.
Well, you read a lot faster than I do, so you're going to have to get ahead and give me all the spoilers so I
Right?
know before the movie starts what's what.
Just read it and make you some Cliff's notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if it's anything how Invincible has drawn my attention, I've read, gosh, nearly 120 episodes of a comic book in days, just mere days. And so, like, if it's probably
Yeah,
a novel, it'll probably be kind of like when The Batman came out and they made that prequel novel. I read it in like 5 days.
what's so great about Invincible, going back to that, you read it, it's so easy to read.
Yeah.
That's another thing, because the conversation seems natural for the most part,
Yep.
and it's not overloaded with
Yeah.
exposition. There are those issues, but it's not every issue. It's like you get like dumps of a lot of information, and they do a lot with visual storytelling in those books as well.
Yep. I don't know. I haven't read a book in a little while that's just made me not want to put it down. Last night I was just reading, and I looked up at the clock and it was 12:15. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I got to go to bed. I got to go to work in the morning."
Yeah, I get that.
And yeah, I love when a book's that good, but it's bittersweet because I am pretty tired today.
Yeah, I get that.
Let's see. Oh, have you seen some of the leaked set photos from the new Supergirl movie? Have you had a chance to see any of those yet?
Yeah, the Lobo
Yeah, someone
looks
leaked a
awesome.
oh, I know. Someone leaked a really good shot of what her suit looks like, and then you can kind of see from a bit of a distance Lobo. And it's obviously it's not the greatest quality picture, but I think Jason Momoa is going to be perfect for Lobo. Like I thought that before this, but he's physically is that character. It's crazy.
I thought he really looked like the animated series version of Lobo
Yeah.
from either the Superman or the Justice League series. I felt like there was I don't know why, there was a bombasticness to his character design that I like, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the edgy 90s gritty. It looks like still that character, but like just, it reminds me of the more colorful versions of that character.
Yeah, I can see that. And speaking of that character, Jason Momoa was just in an interview and someone was asking him about Lobo and he said he's actually already filmed every Lobo scene. He just can't talk about it yet.
That's hilarious.
Yep. And then The Batman Part 2, it's been delayed a couple of times, but they just delayed it again. And a lot of people were kind of online being verbally upset about that. But someone came to Matt Reeves' defense and said he's going through a lot of health things right now. And they even said it's kind of similar to what Chadwick Boseman was going through. So they need to calm down and let him finish it as he can. And I was like, oh, dang, I didn't really know he was going through all that. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't know that. But it sounds like he's going through a lot of health things right now. And this movie might take a little more time than expected to get out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Speaking of, Vincent D'Onofrio, who we typically talk about with Marvel things, he was just recently in an interview and someone asked him about, his life in the Marvel universe and said, what would he want to do if he was ever placed into the DC universe? And he said, it's funny you asked. He would love to be Swamp Thing in the DC universe. And as soon as I read that, I'm like, oh man, I could see that.
That's insane.
Yeah, he wants to be the next Swamp Thing. And you know what? He's got my vote. I'm for it. Over with Star Wars, we know we're getting closer and closer to Andor Season 2. Comes out April 22nd. But some of the latest news with Star Wars, there was no details to this, but someone put out there that there is a horror genre movie coming in the Star Wars universe. And that's kind of an interesting thought. I wonder what they'll do with that. See some of the dark side of the Force.
I mean, I guess you could do like a what are those big like abominable snowman characters?
Wait, is it Wampa?
Is it Wampas? Maybe a Wampa movie?
But yeah, that could be the Wampas, could be, I don't know. I guess a scary movie could just be really bad people murdering people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be like a bounty hunter movie where there's this crazy like boss or something like that, chasing them around.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess there's like there's like witches and stuff. There's
that's true.
zombies,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we've seen. I guess I don't see the point when you have all these other things going on that are good.
yeah.
It just feels like let's add some more crap, but I mean, it's whatever.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say no to it.
Yep. Let's see, the last thing with Star Wars. So the character Hondo Onaka, he's kind of a space pirate, if you know him from the Clone Wars series and everything. Well, someone recently asked Jim Cummings, who does his voice, are we ever going to see live action Hondo? And if so, is he involved? Will he be the voice? Because that voice is so iconic. And Jim said, I can't talk too much about it, but he just did some facial recognition type work for the Hondo character in an upcoming project. So that's all he could say about it. But to me, that sounds kind of cool. If we're going to finally see that character live action, and especially if Jim Cummings is doing his voice again, I think that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that's neat.
So, all the other stuff out there in the pop culture universe. This past weekend, the premiere episode of the latest season of Doctor Who came out, and it kind of started off great. I can't wait to see where they go with this. It had a lot of time travel stuff involved that messed up certain people's timelines. As they were traveling through space, they didn't realize some things were also traveling through time. And when you see the reveal of who the big bad was in this particular episode, and it was all involved with time travel, it was crazy. And I'm a sucker for time travel, so I thought it started great, and I can't wait to see where they go with this new companion. And I'm really enjoying Ncuti Gatwa's version of the Doctor, and it sounds like this might be his last season from some of the stuff I read, but that doesn't mean the show is ending. So if it is, we're already at the point where we got to start anticipating who's going to be the next Doctor and things like that. And I don't know, I just love that show so much, and this next season started out awesome.
Right on.
The Last of Us season 2 also premiered this past weekend, and if I'm being real honest, I forgot. I forgot all about it, so I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I forgot about it as well.
So that's something I'm looking forward to watching. It's one of those weird off seasons for shows right now. Like we have Daredevil, but a show once a week. I'm kind of glad I missed it, so now I can watch it one night this week when I don't have a show to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of that show, as season 2, episode 1 came out, they already released that they've greenlit season 3. So there's no worry of losing that show for at least another season. So that's pretty cool. I know we've talked a little bit about a Tomb Raider series that is coming from Amazon, but I read an article yesterday actually that sounds like that series has been halted in its tracks and it is now dead in the water and we're not getting it. So if anyone was looking forward to that, I guess that kind of sucks.
Well, that was quick.
I know. And anyone who is looking forward to this new live action Masters of the Universe series, they released some of the first set photos. And I don't think they were released, I think they were leaked. But in these set photos, you can see Castle Grayskull. It's on a set, so it doesn't, look realistic like it will when it has all the CGI touches and everything. But you can see it. And you can see Prince Adam, and you can see who everyone thinks is Skeletor. So if anyone's interested, go Google that, and you can see those leaked photos. I think it's going to be a cool movie. I can't wait to see it.
It's a series, right?
It's going to be a movie.
I mean, I'm down either way.
Oh, yeah. Like, honestly, I love movies, but I like the longevity of a series, like how long you get to watch it.
Yeah, for me that's like a double-edged sword
Yeah,
because I have the time to cram. I would rather have a series, but I have a hard time cramming it into my everyday life.
that's true.
So like a movie, it's easier for me to, But even then, like I just watched a movie recently. It was like only 2 hours, like 30 something minutes. It's just like I guess that's a little long, but it took me 2 shifts to watch it.
Yeah,
So it was, you know what I mean? It's just how it is.
yeah. And this particular one's coming from Netflix. So even if it was a series, we could have watched it all at once, I guess.
Yeah, we could have.
But hey, that is all the news for this week. It's kind of a short news week. So locally, there's not a whole lot going on, but we're getting close to May, and the first weekend in May is Free Comic Book Day, the first Saturday in May. So all you guys listening, go Google your local comic book shops and find where they are and go support them. And while you're there, you get to pick up some free books. So that's coming up. It's kind of like a fun nerd holiday.
Yeah, on the same day Thunderbolt releases too. So
Right?
make it
And
a
yeah.
whole day.
Between Thunderbolts and Free Comic Book Day, that's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, great day.
But hey, that's all the news for this week. Come back next week and we're going to talk about our thoughts of Daredevil as a whole and where we think it's going to go and all that fun stuff. And I think we got a few more trailers coming out this week and all that good stuff. But as for us here at the Taylorverse, I've been Billy Taylor.
I'm Taylor Oxner.
And come back next week. Same Taylor time, same Taylor channel.
Bye.
Bye.